Have you ever looked an equation that looks like, okay, आपको मेरी आवाज़ साफ आ रही है? Can you hear me properly? Okay, let's start. So this topic, as you can see, is linear equation in one variable. So have you ever looked like an equation that looks like 3x plus 7 equals 22 or anything like this, and how to solve it? Maybe you know the steps, but you don't know how to do it step by step, or you already know, but let's see how to actually do it step by step. So in this tutorial, a series of live streams that we are going to do, we'll be seeing like how to solve any type of linear equation. We'll be gradually increasing the question level from the basic to advanced. So we'll be doing like one step equations, two step equations, equations involving negative numbers, variables on both sides, like the one with distributive property, and fractions, decimals, all of those different types. Okay, and then we'll also see what how to solve those equations which have no solution. Like how are we going to recognize whether a linear equation has a solution or no solution? Sometimes even a linear equation can have infinite number of solutions. So all these different types, and finally we are going to end this tutorial with the word problems followed by the challenging equations or the problems. So let's start. Okay, let's jump directly into the one step equation. The example that I'm given on the screen, that question is actually not one step, that is like multi-step. Okay, so we are going to start right now with a very fundamental type of equation, which is one step equation. So first of all, let's remove this thing from the screen, and let's just write here one step equation. Okay, so very simple rule that we follow while solving equation is like what we do on one side of equation, we do the same thing on the other side as well. So let's take a one step equation, very fundamental number one. Let's say problem number one. So let's say if x plus 7 equals 15. So for this equation, this is a very simple one, a very basic one, but how will we solve it? What are the steps? And what does it mean, like saying solving an equation? What does it actually mean? What does it, how can we understand that the solution, what to do while solving it basically? So the thing is that when we solve an equation, basically means finding the um, value of the x which makes the equation true. What is an equation? First of all, an equation is made by expressions, like combining or comparing one expression with a constant or an expression with another expression, like that. For example, if I say 2x plus 5 equals to x minus 3, these are two expressions. They have some variables and some constants, like this 2x, the x is the variable and 5 is a constant, 2 is the coefficient of the x. Okay, so this is an expression, okay, which has like literals and constants, okay, variables and constant. But so we have compared here two equations, like this is the first equation and this is the other equation. So while solving it, what we're going to do is, we'll see this is actually a multi-step equation. Okay, this is not the very basic level, so let's like start with a very basic level. So solving this equation, what we're going to do is, see, this is x plus 7 equals 15. So we have to like see, this is 7 is added to x. So to remove this 7, we have to undo the addition. And to undo the addition, we are going to like, let's remove this by subtracting 7. So we are going to like subtract 7 from this left side. Since we are subtracting 7 from the left side, we are going to do the same thing on the right side as well, because the golden rule is that, or the rule that we have to remember is that what we do on one side, we do on the other side as well. What we do on one side, we do on other side of the equation as well. Okay, that's the simple rule that we have to always follow. So if we subtract 7 on both sides, what does it actually do? Because we are subtracting same number from both sides, so that basically means the equation will be balanced, or we can say the balance of the equation is the equation remains balanced. Okay, it is not changed because we are not subtracting two different numbers. Just to understand this thing, like suppose if we have a weighing scale, okay, and we put, like suppose you go to market, you have to get like 1 kilo or 1 pound of some stuff. So you put weight of 1 pound on one side and that some other stuff of 1 pound on the other stuff, isn't it? So as soon as they are balanced, this it becomes straight, isn't it? Similarly, if you remove, like suppose half, if you put like half kg of or half pound of extra stuff, okay, so you have to add half pound here to make this scale properly balanced, isn't it? So similarly, if we going to subtract one side, so we also have to subtract the same number from the other side as well. So once we subtract 7 from both sides, what happens here is this 7 minus 7 becomes 0, and this is just x. Okay, and this 15 minus 7 becomes 8. So x equals to 8 is the solution of this equation. And the only one step that we did right now is we just subtracted 7 from both sides. Why did we subtract? Because this 7 was like added to the x, or we can say this is plus 7 here. So to undo it, to remove it, we just like do minus 7, because 7 minus 7 is 0 and x plus 0 is simply x. And then 15 minus 7 equals to 8 on the other side of the equation. So x equals 8 is the solution. So how can we now verify that what we solve right now is good or not? So to verify this thing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug this value of x in this equation, and we're going to see whether this makes the equations true or not. So when we put it in this thing, so it becomes x plus 7, so 8 plus 7, and we say whether it's equal to or not. Equal to with a question mark means whether it's equal or not 15. So 8 plus 7 is indeed 15, and 15 equals to 15. That means x equals to 8 is correct. So this is a very basic one step question. Okay, this is a linear equation, one variable, the one of the most fundamental questions that we can solve. Now let us look at the few more examples. Let's say if this is x minus 9 equals 4, we have to solve it. So we see here this is 9 is subtracted from x, or simply x minus 9. This is minus 9 here. So how to remove this minus 9? So to undo the subtraction or to remove the minus 9, we have to add a 9. Okay, and once we add one, like 9 on one side, so we have to add the same number on the other side as well. So that means this will become x minus 9 plus 9. Minus 9 plus 9 will be 0. So that's x plus 0, which is simply x equals 9 plus 4, which is 13. So the solution to this equation is x equals 13. And what we did here, we simply added 9 on both sides, okay? So we can say the solution is x equals to 19, and if we verify or cross check our result, we can put it in this equation again, and we can say that means x minus 9. So 13 minus 9, is it equals to 4? We say indeed 13 minus 9 is 4, and 4 equals to 4 is correct. That means this x equals 13 is the correct solution of this equation. Similarly, let's jump to the next problem, next type of problem, but one step equation only. So we're gonna say, let's say if we have an equation like 6x equals to 42. So in the previous two examples we saw that in the first equation there was something added to the x, in the second equation something was subtracted from x. So now in this one, x is multiplied to 6. 6x means 6 times x. So x is multiplied to 6, which basically means that we have to solve for the unknown, which is the x again. So to undo the multiplication, we do division, like the reverse, the inverse operation. Simply the inverse of addition is subtraction, and the inverse of subtraction is addition. So like when we have to remove a positive thing, we're gonna subtract we're gonna put a negative of that, okay? And when we have to remove a negative thing, we're gonna put a positive of that, okay, like plus. So these are the inverse of each other. Similarly, the inverse of multiplication is division, and the inverse of division is multiplication. They are the inverse operations, okay? So this x is multiplied to 6. So to undo the multiplication, we have to divide by 6. So we divide by 6 on one side, but we cannot just do it on one side. As per the rule that we saw, that what we do on one side, we do on other side of the equation. This is done to maintain the balance of the equation. So since we are dividing 6 on the left side, so we also have to divide 6 on the right side. So we divide 42 by 6. So now we just simplify. 6x divided by 6 means 6 over 6, which is 1. So that's simply x or 1x. We don't need to write 1 in front, okay? And this is 42 divided by 6, which is 7. So x equals to 7 is what we get after simplifying. So that means this is the solution. Again, we can cross check our solution, okay, or we can verify whether our result is correct or not. So when we put it in our original equation, replace the x by 7. So 6 times 7, we say, is it equals to 42? We say yes, 6 times 7 is indeed 42. 42 is equals to 42. That means this solution is correct. So we have now one other type of the one step equation, where we can say if the equation is like this, suppose x over 5 equals 9. So now how we are going to solve this type of equation? So here x is divided by 5, and that's equals to 9. So there is a division operation here, okay? And we just saw that the inverse of division is multiplication. So we have to multiply, but with what? Since x is divided by 5, so we have to multiply the left side first of all by 5, okay? Once we multiply the left side by 5, and to maintain the balance of the equation, we again multiply the same number on the right side as well. So that means we are multiplying 5 on both sides. And we already know the golden rule, we can say, or the simple rule that we always have to remember while solving an equation is, what we do on one side of the equation, we do the same thing on the other side. in order to maintain the equation, like the balance of the equation. So this 5 is multiplied on both sides, so this is 5 over 5, 5 times x divided by 5. So 5 over 5, this becomes like x simply, okay. And this 5 times 9 equals to 45. 5 times 9 equals to 45. So this is the solution once we simplify our equation. So I mean to say, when we solve it, so x equal to 5 is the solution of the equation. So how can we cross check now whether it's correct or not? So to cross check, we have to substitute or plug this value in the equation and see whether it satisfies it, whether basically means whether it makes the solutions true or not. So once we plugged it in, so put 45 in there, so that's 45 in place of x over 5. Is it equals to 9? We say 45 divided by 5 is indeed 9. That means 9 equals to 9. Okay, so this is how we're gonna do it. So I know these type of equations that we right now discuss, the 4 different types of equations. These are the very fundamental types of linear equation with one variable, and you might already be familiar with these. But since I want to make a complete tutorial on this particular topic, I'm starting from the very basic level, okay? And I hope you will gradually bear with me, and slowly and gradually we'll be moving on to the difficult, the advanced level, okay? So the next type of question that we can have is two-step equations, okay? Let's do a two-step equation. Before that, we move to the two-step equation. The two questions that you can try to solve on your own is the two questions from the same topic that I want you to solve is like x plus negative 8 equals, let's say, 13, and let's say another question I want you to solve is like x minus minus 5 equals to 20. Try to do these two equations, and let me know if you have any difficulty. You can put your comments in the comment box, okay, if you have the answers ready. So this is like question number 5, and this is question number 6. Now let's move on to the two-step equations. Two-step equation basically means like those equations where we need to do two steps. Like in these 4 questions that we discussed, there's only one step, okay? Like in this one we added, my bad, we subtracted 7 from both sides. In the question number 2 we added 9 on both sides. In the question number 3 we divided by 6 on both sides, okay? And in question number 4 we multiplied 5 on both sides. So all those 4 questions were like only one step, okay? The step basically means what operation we simply perform to solve the equation, okay? So now in the next type of the linear equations, we are going to see two-step equations. Let's say one of the example can be like solve the equation like this. Let's say 3x plus 5 equals 20, okay? So now how we're going to approach this type of equation, how we will solve it. So we see here that this is 3x plus 5 equals 20. The 3 is multiplied to x, then 5 is added. Sometimes what we or what the students do wrong is they simply divide by 3. Like say they see that this is 3 is multiplied to x, so simply divide by 3. But no, that's the wrong step. That's the first step, which is like the initial step only, which is wrong. That means the whole thing is wrong. So we are going to start with, like, we have to remove this 5 which is added to this. Okay, so for that we'll subtract 5, from both sides. We can subtract 5 from the left side to remove it, and to maintain the balance of equation we are again going to subtract the same thing from the right side. So once we do this, that will make it like 3x plus 5 minus 5. So plus 5 minus 5 is 0. So this is simply, the left side is 3x and the right side is 20 minus 5, which is 15. Now this is the first step, subtracting 5 from both sides. Okay, now the next step would be you might be thinking this 3 is multiplied to x. So to solve it, we have to like remove the 3 from here. So to remove the 3, we have to undo the multiplication, because 3 is multiplied to x. So we have to divide by 3. Okay, but we cannot just divide one side, we have to divide the right side as well by the same thing. Okay, by the same thing means by 3 only. So we divided both sides by 3. So this is the second step. Okay, the first step was we subtracted both sides with 5, and then we divided both sides by 3. So once we divided both sides by 3, we have like x equals 15 over 3, which is 5. So x equals to 5. That is the solution. So the two steps are, the first step was we subtracted 5. I already explained why we did so, and then we also divided by 3 right now, and we also explained why we did this step also. So now to verify this thing, whether this is right or not, whether this is correct or not, we have to cross check it by putting it in this equation. Like replace the x by 5 and see whether this value 5, whether it makes sense or not. Okay, so 3 times 5 plus 5, is it equals to 20? So 3 times 5 is 15, and then 15 plus 5, is it equals to 20? And we can say 15 plus 5 is indeed 20. So 20 is equals to 20. That means our solution x equals to 5 is 100% correct. Why are we verifying our answer? Why are we cross-checking it? Because we know that when there is a complex equation, not like the simple one, okay, this simple one we can do on our own, we know, but when we are complex and large equations, and after solving it we don't know whether the answer is correct, or when the answer is not with us, suppose we are in an exam. Okay, so to be 100% sure, if we have time, we can just put back the answer that we have got in the original equation and evaluate that, the left or the right side, whatever is the equation according to that. Okay, and when we see that that value makes the equation true, satisfies it, that means our solution is correct. So this is a correct. So the two steps here is the first step and the second. The first step is subtracting 5 from both sides, and the second step is dividing both sides by 3. Now let's do the next problem. Let's say the equation is like 7x minus 4 equals 31. So again, always remember, the mistake that we can do while solving it is we can maybe directly try to remove this 7, but that's wrong. We always try to remove whatever is added or subtracted there. Okay, since there's a negative 4 there, so to undo that, we're gonna add 4, add 4 not just on one side but on the other side as well. So once we add 4 on both sides, okay, we add 4 first of all on the left side only to remove this negative 4, but to maintain the balance of the equation we have to add the same value on the other side as well. So we add 2 on the right side as well. So that will be then 7x equals, because this minus 4 plus 4 is 0, so 7x plus 0 is 7x, and that is 31 plus 4, which is 35. So that means this is now 7x equals 35. So to solve for x now, because the 7 is multiplied to x, so to undo the multiplication we have to divide by the number with which it is multiplied. So divide by 7. Once we divide the left side by 7, so divide the same thing on the right side as well, and divide the right side by the same number, which is 7. So that means we are dividing both sides by 7. So that means this x equals 5. 35 divided by 7 is 5, and this 7 over 7 is 1. 1 times x is just x, or simply we don't say 1x, okay, just x only. So that x equals 5 is this solution. And again, let's cross check our solution whether this solution is right or not. So once we verify, let's try to verify it. So while verifying, we put this thing x equals to 5 in the equation. Replace the x by 5. 7 times x minus 4. 7 times 5 minus 4 equals 31. So whether is it equals, we're checking it. So whether we put a equal with a question mark, which means whether it equals or not, okay. So 7 times 5 is 35 minus 4, and the right side is already simplified, so it's 31 there. So this 35 minus 4 is 34, whether it equals to 31 or not, but we say 31 is indeed equals 31, which means this is correct. That means the solution is 100% right. Let's move on to the next problem. Suppose the equation is like 4 plus x over 3 equals 10. Okay. So this 4 plus x divided by 3, or x upon 3, or x over 3 equals to 10. So that means to solve it, what we have to do first, we have to always remember where, like, we have to also we have to always look for the variable. So the variable are unknown, which is x here, and which is divided by 3, x divided by 3. So we cannot remove this 3, okay, like we have to always start with what is added there, okay. What is, so 4 is added to it, so 4, we have to remove this plus 4. So to remove this plus 4, we are going to subtract 4, okay. So subtract 4 from the left side, and then do the same thing on the right side as well. So once we subtract 4 from the right and the left side, that means the equation is balanced. So this 4 and 4 is gone, so this is only x over 3 on the left side which remains, and this right side will be 10 minus 4, which is 6. So now this is what we have once subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. Now we're going to solve for x. So this x is divided by 3. So to undo the division, we have to multiply by the number with which it is multiplied, and this is, I mean to say, with which it is divided. So this x is divided by 3, so that means multiply 3, this 3, okay. To remove this 3, we have to multiply by 3, and once we multiply the left side, we also have to multiply it by the right side. So multiplying both sides basically by 3. So this 3 over 3 is 1. So 1 times x is simply x equals, and then 3 times 6 is 18. So x equals to 18. That is the solution of this equation. And we can again cross check that whether the solution is right or not. So to cross check, to verify, we're gonna plug this value inside this original equation and see whether it's right or not. So once we plug it in, we're gonna say this is like 18. My bad. So this is 4 plus x over 3. So 4 plus x is 18 over 3. And we have to check it. So we'll put equals or not. Whether it equals or not to what? 10. Okay. So this is 4 plus 18 divided by 3 is 6. Whether it equals to 10 or not. And we can say 4 plus 6 is indeed 10. So that 10 equals 10. That means this solution that we have right now is 100% correct. One more type of problem that we're going to do right now, and then probably we're going to stop for a while, and we'll be coming up very soon for the next live stream where we'll be continuing this series, okay, this tutorial of how to solve any linear equation in one variable. So the problem number 10 that we're going to discuss for the day is, let's say we have an equation like this: x over 5 minus 2 equals 6. So this is also a two-step equation. That means we need 2 steps to solve this equation. So what we're going to do is we have to again don't try to remove this 5 which is divided like by the x. Okay, sorry, x is divided by 5 actually. So don't try to remove this 5 which is in the bottom. We have to always try to remove the number which is either added or subtracted. Okay, so this is minus 2. So to remove this minus 2, we're going to add 2. But we cannot just add 2 on one side, as we already keep on discussing in the entire tutorial in this live stream. So we have to divide the 2 from both the sides. Okay, once we divide 2 from the left side and the right side, that means, my bad, once we add 2 on the left and the right, both sides, so that means this minus 2 plus 2 will be 0. So the left side will have x over 5 only, and the right side will be 6 plus 2, which is like equals to 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. So now we are going to multiply. So for the next step, what are we going to do? So this is x over 5, x divided by 5. So to solve for the x, we have to multiply by which it is divided. So x is divided by 5. So we are going to multiply 5 on the left side, and then again multiply the same number on the left side as well. So multiply 8 on the left side as well. My bad, I mean to say multiply 5 on the left side as well. Okay, that means we are multiplying 5 on both sides. Okay, so that is 5 times x over 5. So 5 over 5, 5 times x over 5, we can write it just like 5 times x over 5. It's like 5 times x over 5, or 5 over 5 times x. All these are same. Okay, these are all equivalent expressions. Okay, so this is simply 5 over 5 times x means simply 1 times x, or simply x. Okay, 1 times x is simply x. So that's why this is simply x equals, and 5 times 8 is 40. 40. So this is what we have once we solve it. So let's try to verify whether this equation is, whether this solution is right or not. So to verify it, we have to plug it back we have to plug it back in the original equation and see whether it makes the equations true or not. So once we plug it in the original equation, we have 40 over 5 minus 2, whether it equals 6 or not. So 40 over 5, that is 8. So 8 minus 2, whether it equals to 6 or not. But 8 minus 2 is indeed 6. So 6 equals 6, that is correct, which means this solution is 100% right. So you can comment a few answers to the questions that I'm right now going to give you. You can try these questions, okay, and let me know what you have for the answer. So try to solve this equation by 11, 12 also. Let's say 12 one, like one more, like let's say x over 5 plus 2 equals 12, and maybe one more like we could try these 4 questions, okay, and comment your answers in the comment box. So let's see you in the next tutorial.